It's good to know how to get the ball in your court so you'll know what you can do to keep improving even if the lessons or pieces you're working on aren't super exciting. What I've noticed in piano lessons is that students in their method books will spend a few weeks working on a piece, and when it's maybe 70% good, they'll start to get a little bored. Then the teacher will get anxious and think, oh my goodness, what can I do to keep my student engaged? Let's just start learning a new piece. And then before you know it, it's 3 years later, you're in level 2, you're not really improving, you're just kind of half playing a bunch of pieces you're not really that interested in, and on top of that, the method book levels are getting more and more complicated, and it seems like the whole thing just isn't working. Keep listening, because we're going to solve that problem. What's the point of learning method book pieces anyway? As a student, I learned hundreds of method book pieces, and do you know how often people ask me to play them? Never. No one wants to hear you play Go Tell Aunt Rhody, and that's nothing personal against Go Tell Aunt Rhody. I did an honors thesis on Beethoven sonatas, and nobody ever wants to hear me play those either. Do you know what people are interested in hearing? Your unique voice at the piano. So in this video series, I'm going to show you how to take those boring method book pieces that no one cares about and use them to develop your own musical voice. In a nutshell, what you need to do is change something. You know how in language comprehension classes your teacher will ask you to paraphrase a text to see if you really understand it? Well, this is something you should be doing with music too. In this series, I'm going to show you 6 specific ways to do that, and if you make all of them part of your regular practice, you'll be on your way to finding your unique musical voice in a way that will last. These are tools you should incorporate right now, whether you're 4 years old or 104. They're not level specific, so you can use them if you're in the primer book, and you can use them if you're a music major in college. For an example, I wanted to pick the most boring, innocuous piece that nobody in real life cares about, so I'm going to use Lightly Row. It's in every method book, probably because it's public domain, and there's absolutely nothing interesting about it, at least until you make it your own. You can use Lightly Row too, but you should also be doing this with every piece you work on. Now, you might not know Lightly Row, so I'm going to sing it to you, even though it'll probably make my views plummet. You're welcome. By the way, do you sing the pieces you're learning? Because you should, even if you don't think you have a good singing voice. Especially if you don't think you have a good singing voice. Your voice is beautiful, expressive, and necessary, and don't believe anybody who tries to tell you different. Lightly Row goes like this. Bum 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 bum. So the first thing you can do to make your boring method book piece into your own thing is to improvise with the rhythm patterns. A rhythm pattern is one of the smallest bits of a song that has some rhythmic meaning. Lightly Row only uses 3 different rhythm patterns. It just uses them in different arrangements. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to play Lightly Row while I chant the rhythm patterns. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Now, when you're noticing rhythm patterns in your pieces, it's important that you don't get stuck in the notes on the page. Rhythm is to be chanted and moved to. Just naming notes like quarter note, half note, eighth note, whatever, isn't a rhythm pattern. Once you're thinking in terms of rhythm patterns, you can really start to do a lot And here are just a few ways you can improvise with those rhythm patterns. You can start with playing the rhythm patterns on one key like this. Ba, 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 ba. Then you can play clusters with a soft fist like this. Ba, 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 ba. You can use alternating hands. Ba, 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 ba. You can also rearrange the rhythm patterns to make shorter or longer pieces. I find that using 1, 2, or 4 rhythm patterns in a piece works well, like this piece that uses 2 rhythm patterns. You can make choices with register and tempo. Decide where on the piano you want your improvisation to live, and if you want it to be fast, slow, or moderate tempo. Here's a slow version that uses notes on this side of the piano. And here's a fast version that uses notes over here. Those were all improvisations using rhythm patterns from Marilyn Lowe. Remember, one of the best things about improvising with rhythm patterns is that you don't have to get hung up on playing the right notes. You're free to explore your own ideas without judgment. And don't worry, we're going to talk about choosing keys to play in another video, but for this one, stick with random keys and telling stories just with your rhythm. Don't try to come up with the most complicated improvisation ever. It's much more useful to just stay in the flow and keep it conversational. Sometimes we instrumentalists keep trying so hard to challenge ourselves that we never really take ownership of the music vocabulary we've developed. So if you get stuck, just go back to playing the rhythm pattern on one key. Subscribe and ring the bell if you don't want to miss the next video in this series. And if you want to go deeper into directing your own piano learning, check the description for a link to my website. Let me know in the comments if you're improvising with rhythm patterns, and be sure you name the piece you're working on if you'd like some help with it. I'm not sure I'll be able to get to everyone, but I'll do my best. In the meantime, practicing with rhythm patterns is portable. You don't have to be near a piano. Chanting and moving to rhythms during your regular life is a great way to learn your pieces better, and I think it makes the world a little brighter too. Have fun!